blah 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 blah. She come and write statement. If not, they will come and arrest me, that they've invited me, they've given me warning already. Sideways, like the police actually came to arrest me, like till whenever tomorrow is. I did not like the fact I left. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a story time of my worst roommate experience. Not like my worst, because I don't want to like paint her as bad or anything, but at the end of the day, people have different sides to the story. I'm just trying to share my own side of the story. So I was trying to look for a roommate. This is like as at October. I was looking for a new place in the roommates because I knew like I was just not financially okay. Okay, that sounds. But yeah, that's the fact. I was not like in a good place to rent a place by myself, like to pay. It was quite expensive, so I needed a roommate. Let's be frank with each other. I told my neighbor, and he was like, "Ah, yeah, he has a girl that needs a roommate too, and blah 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 blah." I'm like, okay, yeah, link us up. Like, so he linked us as at November. He linked us up. She had my number, and we just chatted a little bit. Not about the house, like we did not chat about the house yet, but because I knew my rent would be due in March, like March of the next year, and this is just November, so I'm not in a hurry, I'm not in a rush. Like, take your time, like get. And also she was like, oh, our rent will be due in February and in January. So I'm like, okay, we can work that out. March, January, like what's the actual difference? January, she was like, hey, she got places, and she sent pictures of the place. I'm like, hey, they are expensive. Oh, they are expensive. Let's look for somewhere cheaper but nice. I came back to school in February, and that February, like 3 days after I came back to school, she hit me up and she was like, she has a place. Then I came down to check the place, and I'm like, no, this place is too small. And as at that point, I like already had a little bit of extra change. Like, I was even thinking of maybe I'll just, stay on my own and I'll drink Gary for like the first 3 months. But yeah, so she hit me, she was like, okay. Then like then as at that point when I said this place was too small, like no, I can't live here, like I'm not even thinking of you get. And I explained to her like she should not even worry, that she can take it by herself, because at that point, I told you her rent is due in January. So I think at that point she was already in a hurry. But me, this was just early February. Me, I was not yet in the hurry. My rent is still going to due in March, so I have like 1 whole month to still search for a place. So she like 2 days after, she called me back and she was like, hey, she has gotten a bigger place. I'm like, really? Okay. Oh yeah, she said, hey, because I already told her I wanted to stay alone. She was like, she told me up, she was like, hey, have you found a place to stay? I'm like, no, I've not yet. Like, okay, she said she has a place at somewhere close. It was not even close to school, the distance was far, which I did not like. But I'm like, oh, okay, what's up, whatever, I'm probably going to take this. So okay, I'll take this. So me and the guy there, we talked. It was not the guy there, it was one of the tenants there, but like he has mouth in the house. So we talked. I talked about the things I did not like in the house. They said they would change this, they would change that. I looked at the house and knew, okay, I'll have to buy this. And the price was really fair. Like, the price of the house was fair. Before she became my roommate, she followed me to check the house, because she was not like, she was one showing me the house. Like, she was one not showing me the house. Like, she was one that said, Messi, I saw a place, you get. So I needed her address, and she had to like, okay, I'll take you there. I said she will send me an account number, so I sent the money to the account number. I sent her the receipts, and then like 2 days later, she called me and she told me like something like the landlord, she does not think the landlord wants to actually do what he wants to do in their house. Like the landlord is just throwing her around. I'm like, at this point it's getting too much. Like at the end of the day, it's my house. I feel I was the one that's supposed to be talking to the landlord. Like, why are you talking to the landlord on my behalf? But at the end of the day, I'm like, maybe that's our type of person. You get, people are different. Some people are just way too caring. Some people that they don't even know. I felt that was what she was. And she was like, the landlord is not doing anything. That she went to the house, like they've not even started anything at all. Blah 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 blah. I was like, so what will we do that I've already sent the money to him? So she was like, no, that I sent the money to her account. I'm like, and you know, at this point, I knew her as another name. And the name on the account was not matching her name. So I did not even know that was her account. I'm like, really? I sent the money to your account. Okay, then I don't think I'll take the place again. Since the landlord said we start work. So there, and he has not started work. And I don't even want landlord problem before I start living somewhere. You get? So she was like, oh, okay, like, should I come and check another room? That she saw another room for us. That should I come and check it? That is way bigger. That in that same, like, that is way bigger, sha. So I went to check the room, and it was a little bit bigger, not that big. Oh, it's not that big, but it was a little bigger than the one I checked earlier. That I said I did not like. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And at this point, she already moved into the room. Like, she had already moved. Her stuff were already into the room when I checked. And I'm like, then I was like, okay, we can just stay together. And she was trying to explain to me that she's not going to be around every time. Like, she goes to Lagos almost every time. Like, on her project, she's not going to be around. Then we started talking, like, what do you have? What are you bringing to the room? Do you have table and chair? Do you have this? Do you have that? You know, the room was just like a moderate room for two. Like, if things are too much, you should start getting choked. So we should discuss that. Then we started living together. But at that point, my rent, like the money I sent, you know, I sent her money for. The money I sent to her was just excess. It was more than the money she got for that place. So I'm like, okay, where's my balance? But she was like, oh, she did stuff in the room already. She did wiring, electrician work. She did carpentry work in the room. So you get, I'm just like, all right, let me just move. So I moved in with her, and it was good at the beginning. Not like good. So I'm not the type to make friends easily. I'm your roommate, not your friend. I'm your classmate, not your friend. I'm your workmate, not your friend. I'm your neighbor, not your friend. You get that type of person. I'm that type of person. You cannot just be my friend because you're my neighbor. I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys do it, but that's just who I am. And yeah, so she was my roommate. It was cool. We did not do much things together. And like as she said, true. She was not really around for that much of it. Wow, she goes to Lagos like frequently, she goes home frequently and every time. So I'm like almost like 80% of the time I'm only the one in the room. So I was even lucky. Not lucky, I was happy because at the end of the day I have space. When things started getting south was, like I said, she was not my friend, but she was my roommate. But she was giving this friendly vibe, like she wanted to be my friend real bad. But you can't, it doesn't work like that. I have to want to be your friend, or you're just my friend. Like, that's how it is. So when things started going bad was, I remember one night like that, I just started having like this bad rash on my body. Like, it was bad, and I've had it before. I had it growing up. I knew what it was. But this was like 5 years ago. I've not had any sign of that in my entire life ever. So it was coming back at that period, and I'm like, damn. And this was like around night. People have closed in my school area. They close very early. People have closed. I can't go out. Like, and it was just like, how will I say? This thing just came like boom, and it was plenty on my body. I'm like, eh? I was trying to think back, like maybe the water I used or the food I ate, like what was wrong? What was actually wrong? Like I was itching my skin. Hey? Never again in my life. it was all over my body. Like spots are still even there. I'm still trying to get rid of, but it was all over my body. And she's a nurse. Like, at this point, you guys already know what I'm talking about. But she was really nursing, and I felt comfortable enough to like open my body and tell her, hey, what's up? Like, look at my body. What's wrong? Like, at this point, I don't even think maybe it was what happened to me in my childhood any longer. Like, I was feeling like this skin came instantly. What could be the cause? Like, I was so scared because skin. I like my skin. So she looked at it and she was like, she does not know. She like blah 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 blah. Like, this thing will be contactable. Like, it should not come to her skin. You know that she's fair. I was like, I was just trying to like, what's wrong with me? You're telling me it should not come to your body. Like, how will I make it or make it not? So she was like, it should not come to her body. You know how she's yellow, she's fair. Like, if this thing comes to her body, it's going to leave a very big spot. Like, it will be very hard to get rid of and everything. I'm like, okay. But me, I was still in the mood of what the fuck is this on my body? But I noticed, because our bed was like together, like our bed, my bed, like no distance in the between. There was nothing in the between. There was nothing between us. Like, we practically slept back. So at this point, I noticed there was like a little space in between. I'm like, this is our small room that we're managing. You want to put space? You actually want to put space here? But the next day, I went to the chemist. I bought what I wanted to buy, and yeah, it was already going down. Like, the next day, it was already like going. But you know, at the end of the day, it's cannot just clear off, but it was already going. I was already seeing changes. So, and let me just say, because I have to cast myself a little bit. And I was using a pillow. Like, sometimes I did not have pillow. I don't even know why, because I can sleep without pillow. I did not need to lay the pillow, but I was using a pillow because vibe like that. So at this point, I was using her pillow the next day afternoon. She just came and she was like, don't use my pillow, that thing will stay on my pillow, blah 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 blah. I'm like, nah. Like, see, sometimes I clock out emotionally before I clock out any other way. I was like, nah, this person, next year I'm living here and you're probably never going to be my friend. Like, you're not even my friend from font. You're no more my friend. I'm sorry, you're no more my friend. So at that point, she clocked that and she went outside. She spread her pillow. And honestly, I understand her. Like, I understand where she's coming from. But still, you're a nurse, baby girl. Like, at least don't be that obvious. Don't be like rude. Don't be rude about it. Just be like, cruise. See, in this life, there are some things you say in cruise, but I was like, no, this person cannot be my friend. Immediately I want to like automatically check out from you. I just went to her WhatsApp and I muted her status, because if I keep seeing what you are doing, good or bad, honestly, oh mama, you mean Lara, like I will be like, like, I dislike you, so whatever you are doing, sorry, I'll dislike you. Only if you are doing something very amazing, but still, it's coming from you now. So I'm a very bad person, but still. So I went to her WhatsApp status, I muted her story and everything. So she traveled. I don't even know if she traveled, but you know, like I said already, she leaves the house like very well. She could leave the house for 2 weeks, then come back for like 3 days, then leave again. Like, she leaves frequently, and I never questioned it. She told me from the beginning. So she's not holding me, she's not, like, it was not really affecting me. So at that point she left, and in my mind I'm like, is this why she left? But because I knew school was in section and it was like already towards exam period, like not towards, like, let me say 2 months to exam period, and I know people were like actively working, every department was working. So I'm like, whatever, and it could be a normal usual going home or something. So I was not really bothered about that, but she left. So me, life continues. My skin was already getting clear. I was not really having any, but at this point we were not talking. I was not messaging her, she was not messaging me. We actually don't even talk. We don't laugh over things like we talk. She was the only one bringing the topic to talk about. You know, the type of friendship where you don't talk much, but somebody talks and you guys talk. You understand? So at that point, she was not talking, I was not talking. We're just on our own vibe. And like I said, the exam is coming. This is like 2 months to exam. And I'm like, I'm getting prepared for exam. So one day she messaged me and she's like, so you don't know my mommy died, Abby? I'm like, actually, this is not a funny thing. My mom actually died. But yeah, she was like, you don't know my mom died, Abby? I'm like, hey, where is this coming from? Like, I don't know what. I don't know. We're not in a friend group. 1, 2. The boy that connected us together was my neighbor, which I'm no longer in the compound with him. So me and the guy were not even close. I'm not talking to the guy. I would have heard. And 3, I muted your status, and I understand that she would have not known I muted her status because you would not know. But still, did you see my name among the list of people that viewed your status for that day? And I did not message you like, sorry for your loss or something like that. But at the end of the day, she lost someone, and I understand her anger. I totally understand it. And I was like, I was like, sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry I did not see it. Like, I was even trying to be like, she lost, at the end of the day, she lost someone. See, if somebody lose someone, just don't fight them. Just at the end of the day, you guys can fight later. But at that point, I was just like, so sorry, blah 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 blah. But she was like, oh, thank you. Then at that point, I was even like feeling bad. I was legit feeling bad. I called my mom, like, mom, my roommate's mom. I called my parents, like, mom, my roommate's mom passed away. And she was like, I should send her number. Like, that was the point. My mommy had my roommate's number. Like, she did not know. She did not know. I'm a big girl, you take care of yourself. So I sent my number to her. My mom called her, which she told me, because my mom would tell me. And she had spoke and everything. After the I'm sorry, and I like shared her pain with her, and that was just it. We did not talk again for a very long while. Like, at that point, I think she came back to the room self, and we were still not talking. Like I said, it was towards exam time, and I had ICANN exam. Like, my school exam and my ICANN exam was on the same week. Like, they were like, I had a school exam on a Tuesday, I had ICANN Wednesday, Thursday, then I had school exam on a Friday. So I was like into my book. So she was in the room and we were not talking. Like, she was literally living in the same space as me, like the same close ass space. We are breathing in the same air, if not mouth to mouth self. And we're not talking. I'm sorry, I'm such a bad person. And we're not talking. So I'm like, whatever. Then, like, a month after, or like a month and a half after, my dad died. My dad passed away. Then I posted it, obviously. She saw it. She was like, I'm so sorry, blah 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 blah. I'm like, cool. I replied everybody that I said thank you, and so that was like August. September was our school exam. So we wrote school exam. She, like, August, she came back to, we're still not talking, like, no communications. No communications at all. So I was like, September came, I wrote school exam, I wrote ICANN exam. But at a point, like towards the end of September, our school went on a short break, like during exam. Like, I was even supposed to write exam the next day, when they said something happened. I think student protested and they were like, everybody should go on a break for like 2 weeks, but not like just 2 weeks. We should just go. Not 2 weeks. We should just go home for 2 weeks. I mean, I was really happy because ICANN was like joy. Like, I was so happy because that school paper, I've not prepared at all. Like, I was spending my time with ICANN paper. So I'm like, thank God, these 2 weeks I used to prepare for my remaining like 5 papers. That's for actual school exam. So that was like ending of September. So as at October, it was on a Monday. She was in the room, I was in the room. At this point, it was already getting obvious that we did not want ourselves in the same space. Like, it was obvious. I was no longer using her stuff, she was no longer using my stuff. We're like giving space for ourselves in the room. Like, no, I felt she was like the older person. I just wanted that. I'm not going to call you to order. I can live with this. Can you? That's the question. Can you? Can you actually? Can you? I'm okay with. Oh, Emike, I'm very much okay. I'm comfortable. What did you mean? I'm not touching your stuff. You're not touching my stuff. Like, that's what I wanted from the beginning. I don't want roommate so we'll be cooking and laughing and I have my stuff. You have your stuff. So she just talked and she was like, "Can you leave the room on Friday? My cousin is coming over." I'm like, "Cannot be me now. You cannot be talking to me now. Your cousin is coming to what?" I didn't even answer. So she said it again. I'm like, "Your cousin is coming where? I'm sorry, your cousin. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Your cousin, Bawo." Have my friend ever come here to sleep? So why should you say leave? Like as if you know somebody I'm going to go and sleep at his house for like how many days? Say, and you, I should know. I'm like, "I'm not leaving. I'm sorry, I'm not leaving." She's like, "Okay, Friday we come now. You will see what I will do." I'm like, "I'm not leaving." At this point, like I've not even had time. I told you, my daddy died October. I've not had time to process the whole loss. Like, I just immediately after the burial, I just started reading my book back. I've not had time, so I was already ready for whatever we come out of this fight. Like, I was ready to fight. That was where I wanted to pour my grievance and all my anger. I was ready to. I don't wish I should be in that situation again. I'm ready to go down with this. I was ready. But I'm not violent, but I was ready. Wherever we'll go there. Then the next day, somebody called me. I picked the call and it was like, "Hello, I'm from so police station. Your roommate, you have to leave the room." I don't even understand what the uneducated man was saying. "You have to leave the room. Your roommate laid a complaint on you. Blah 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 blah." I was like, is that the way police operate? Am I uneducated? Like, I went to school in police care on the phone. Who are you trying to deceive? Who is your police? Who are you calling? Who is ganging up with you? Who is on the other side of the phone? I just looked at that because I think she was in the room when the guy called. Like, where are you from? Which police station? The guy was just answering me. So at that point, I'm like, I need to tell somebody about this because police is already involved, and it should not be like I will just end up in police cell on Friday and nobody will know my whereabouts and everything. So at this point, I called my mom. I didn't even call my mom. I was like in the afternoon time. I was on my way to make my hair or something. So my mom called me. She called me and she was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like for the normal checkup. I even thought it was the normal checkup on use type of stuff. So I was even like, "Mommy, I'm on my way out, but I even have something I want to discuss with you. Maybe later at night." She's like, "That's even why she called me. That my roommate already called her." I'm like, now me fuck up. Now me give her a number. Me when I get chatting herself up. Now me fuck up. So she was feeling this Yoruba mentality that girls, you guys will fight now. Emma Jai, Emma Sorain Papo, or any all those type of advice. I'm like, "Mommy, see, I don't think this is a fight and come back together, mad child. This is a like, I'm gone." She was like, "No, you can't talk like that." And at this point, she was with a friend. And all those friends is like, your mommy's friend that you respect and all this type of stuff. And my mommy just, my dad just died. Like, I didn't even want to stress her or do anything. So I'm like, okay. She was like, okay, she would talk to my roommate later that evening. That she would talk to her and she would just try and be like, I'll call this police guy back. Like, Where are you from? I'm coming to your office. In fact, I'm coming to your office. That office that you say there's a office somewhere. I'm coming to see your office. You guys will arrest me in that office. You're mad. Who are you joking with? Okay, on your phone is saying I'm a policeman. Like, who do you know? Or so I called him and I'm like, where is your office? He said his office is there. Blah 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 blah. I should come and write statement. Even though they will come and arrest me, that they've invited me, they've given me warning already. I'm like, so I asked around for the police station. They said there's a police station there. I'm like, okay. But see, I'm not, let these people come and arrest me. See, so if I go to the police station now and I write statement and they detain me, they say, you know the way Nigerian police works. They are mad. They are mad people. Apologies to those people who are actually, no, I'm not going. So I went to meet my landlady because my landlady sells something in front of our house. So I went to meet her and this woman was giving me attitude. Like as if my roommate already got there and talk. I'm like, and you know, elderly people, mostly Yoruba people, the first person to report the issue is the right person. Like that person is the right, only if the issue is now like they just don't want to hear anything after. Like you are the first report, you're probably the right person, because if you are wrong you will not come and report. Do you understand that kind of vibe? So my roommate was like, and my landlady was like, they said you're playing music, you're disturbing the whole neighborhood, like you know that your room, we don't even want to allow roommates in it, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I'll actually have to leave. This one everybody has ganged up. Like I would actually have to leave. But yeah, so the next morning my mommy called me. My mom was like my mom was already, like my mom was parrying on the phone. And my mommy para. Hey, my mom is a very gentle person. She will beg you if you need to be begged. My mom was parrying on the phone. She was like, that your roommate, blah 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 blah. Who pushing so on the phone? No can stop me. Like she was, my roommate was pressing that I have to go home. Like since everybody's already on break, and at this point they're giving us 2 weeks additional to our 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks for our TPO. Like the 2 weeks we were on strike for are not completed though. They already gave us another 2 weeks in school for break. I'm like, hey. So it was like already, let me say 3 weeks break. And we're not even done with the first week. She was like, they gave us 1 month break. I should be going home. I should just find a way to leave the room on Friday. I must leave. I was like, what am I still doing in Ife? Like that was what she was telling my mommy. That what am I still doing in Ife? That I should leave. I'm done with my exam. They've postponed my exam. I should go home. That she needs the room on Friday. I should enter bus. I should go to Lagos. And she doesn't want to see me in the room. My mom was like, Kilo Fisono, like what do you put on the road that she has to leave? Like she should enter Lagos. Like, do you know what she's doing in there? Blah blah blah. My mom was just telling me the story. I'm like, hey, now you call her Becca. My mom was already pissed. And my mom was like, if anything, I'm like, my mom was talking to me and she said, put it on loudspeaker. My mom was like, put it on loudspeaker. So like, if anything happens to my daughter, like, anything happens to her, that she will be in that room, and if anything happens to her, you are installed. That Wednesday was whoa, at this point I was no longer involved. Like it was not my mom and her, because what will I say that my mommy will not say times 10? So that day I slept. Then on Thursday morning, I don't know what they said again. Honestly, I don't know what my mommy and my roommate said again. The shark came to a conclusion that I would leave the room and my roommate would pay me to leave the room. Because why will I just leave the room? They're going to refund me. Then I'll get the fuck out of your space, because my mom was no longer comfortable having me in the same space as her. And since my mommy said if I have cough, like she will be the one responsible for it, and she will come down to Ife. Like I should even be going. That since my mommy said she's threatening me and she's a threat to me, that I should be leaving her room. So the child came to a conclusion that they will pay me to leave. Payments now cause problem again. My mom was like, if she wants me to leave, she has to give me like 50k. And I think when I was coming into the room, I paid 80k for my my share of the rent and other additional stuff. I paid 80k, but I think the actual rent was 120k. So I paid like 20k extra for the stuff. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't want to rent this space with her. I paid for another room, Neo. Lower share. I don't know the type of bastard Yahoo stuff that they are teaching her, that she come and do on my head. That she now made me stay with her. So, my mom said she must give me 50k. My roommate was like, according to our own calculation, no, it's not 50k, because at this point I already used like, I think 8 months. We're already living like 8 months. Myself, I knew that the math was not mathing. Like, what did my mom calculate? How is it 50k that she's supposed to give me? I was even telling my mom, is it supposed to be 50k? Like, are we being fair? Mom was like, this is not a matter of fair. Like, she wants you to leave. Like, how will you get a house? How will you do this? And my mom wanted me to leave like immediately. Like, go any else you see, I'm going to pay for it. Like, leave that spot immediately. My mom was like, she should give you 50k. Oh, like, and she does not want to know. My mom was still like, no, it's not 50k. Oh, that she did wire in the room. And I said, me myself, I was not like, you did wire about. Like, if I'm going, will I take your wire? Will you not say enjoy your wire? Am I going with the wire? Am I going with the cupboard you did? Am I going with any, like, I did not go with anything. I went with the only thing I brought to the room. Like, am I going with anything? She was like, So at that point, I don't know, my mom is she parad. So she sent me the 50k in the morning of Thursday. So my mom was like, I should go and look for a place. So long story short, I found a place. I didn't even find a place that day. But while I went out, because my mom was like, I should pack my stuff. I should make sure I pack all my stuff. I should not forget anything in the room. Like, I should make sure I count all my stuff. I should count all my clothes, all my hanky, all my everything. I should count them. Then I should pack them inside a bag. I should lock the bag. As I'm going out, I should even go to police station. I should go and complain. I should tell them that my roommate is threatening me, blah blah. I should go and give statement in police station. I'm like, hey, statement in police station. She said, yes, now that since somebody have called you to threaten you to go to police station, so that if at the end of the day, if the matter wants to go to police, actually they will know that I laid like a formal complaint already. So I just went to look for the house, but while I went to look for the house, I already packed my stuff down. The house I was seeing, because it was a day now, you can't find house in a day. Those of you that find house in Nigeria, you know, you can't actually see the house you like the first day. Only if you are lucky. You can't see the house you like the first day you go searching for a house. So that first day I just went out. I went to search for a house, but while I came back, all my stuff was already outside. Like, this girl legit put all my stuff outside the door, and rain was already about to fall. Like, the weather was already weathering, everything was already getting cloudy. This was around 4 in the evening, and she locked the door with padlock, because I did not drop my key. She had to use padlock because our door have key lock and padlock lock. So she used padlock, another padlock, and she locked the door. So she was probably not inside. Probably she left. Then all my stuff was outside. At this point, I just had to go and like pay for this room. A room I saw that night. I don't like it. I have to just pay for it. And yeah, I'm here. And I don't know where she is. And this room is actually in the same compound as where we were before. Like, the other room is like the other building, the same compound, a different building. So I just had to collect this room. Yeah, I'm standing, I'm fresh, I'm happy, and that's my roommate horror story. I hope I got everything. Like, there are so many little things that I can't be like saying because no time. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I really enjoy sharing this story, and I have so much more stories to share. I really wished the stuff went sideways, like the police actually came to arrest me, like till whenever tomorrow is. I don't like the fact I left. I'm war in the post keep a post gay. I want war. Not violent.